What was it like working with Shawn Michaels? Because, I only ever hear great things about Shawn, and I only ever hear people say the same things that you kind of just said right now, where he gave me a chance. I spoke with Baron Corbin. He echoed the same words. I spoke with Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes, echoed the same words. What was your experience like?
Really good, really positive. I just on a personal level, I love working with Shawn specifically when it comes to the in-ring wrestling. Because before I was called up to Retribution and Raw the first time, he wasn't running NXT at the time. He was just a coach there. You know, I think he helped with creative in a little bit, but he was a coach, but he was the top coach there. And he was my coach for probably a year or so. So we got to do what we call skull sessions, which is just watching film and breaking it down and stuff. And all of that was so helpful, just easily the top trainer I've ever worked with in terms of in-ring knowledge. And I can tell that he and I, despite being, this is the fun part of it, despite being totally different styles, just by definition, he's going to have a different style than me because we're much different physically, and stylistically and character-wise and all that stuff, because it all plays a role in the character presentation in the in-ring. But he and I have such a similar mind when it comes to designing matches and how to elicit, proper reactions, that I would love more than anything else to just bounce things off of him, and not even like moves and stuff like that, but just moments out of it, because he's such an artist when it comes to that part of professional wrestling. Because the move, the sequences and all that stuff, it varies from crowd to crowd and stuff like that. But he was so good with the camera's going to be tight on you, and here's the story that we need to get across, and here's how you can do it with your face and your body and things like that. And we would just bounce ideas just straight off each other. What if I do this? And he'd think about, what I loved the most about him is that I would give him something and I wouldn't get what you get a lot of the time in the pro wrestling business, whether it's from the booker or the other wrestler that you're working for, which is you can see the wheels turning on how they're going to try to say no and get their idea instead. He would never do that. Because any wrestler watching this knows what I'm talking about. They pitch something to someone, and then the other guy starts thinking about it, and you can tell that they're thinking about how to politely tell you, no, your idea sucks, I want to do my own thing. Because that's just how we are as human beings. We all think that our stuff is the best. What I got from him and what I learned from him is it's always going to be better if you can take someone else's idea and adjust it to make it even better, right? Not change it and don't do it, but he would always listen to what I said and take it and say, how do I take what Dijak's saying and make it even better? He would do my idea, but just either adjust it or fluff it or whatever and put his little spin on it. And I'd hear what he'd say back, and I'm like, man, that's so much better. And from getting that, I want to be that guy. Anyone who I've wrestled, 99.9% of the time when they pitch something to me, I'll stop, and it becomes uncomfortable because I'll stop and I'll think and I'll close my eyes and I start picturing it and Rolodexing through my head. The term Rolodex is a funny term because I used it with a younger kid and they had no idea what I was talking about.
No.
A Rolodex is an old thing. It's like where you keep your names in your cell phone now, but it's like we used to have a thing of names. So anyway, Google it. So I'll sit there and I'll think of how can I, yes, I want to do this idea, but I want to make it, what can I do to make it just a little bit more memorable? And to me, that's the beauty of Shawn Michaels. That's where he was always the most formidable asset to me and to everyone else around him. And that's why he's so tremendous and so valuable to the pro wrestling industry. And I mean, that's the top reason in my opinion. There's 100 other reasons, but that was always just my favorite moments with Shawn.